all ready to go out and sniff out some beautiful kethane that we can then dig out of the ground and refine into fuel products that we need to power our space fleet. Now, the rule of thumb is you want to start thrusting at moonrise. When the moon breaks the horizon, you want to start accelerating your orbit. And you'll be looking to add between 800 and 1,000 meters per second to your orbital velocity to get into a lunar injection course. And at that point we do some fiddling and tweaking and fine-tuning to really get our course set. That's a good starting point. That'll get you on your way pretty efficiently. Now, you'll notice the aurora is drifting away from us. That's because we've bumped Snoopy up into a higher orbit. So its angular, even though its forward velocity is actually higher than the aurora, the angular velocity is lower. That's here I have ignition problems with the engine, so it takes precious seconds to manually turn the engines on and start accelerating towards the moon. And that's a mistake. And every mistake you make in this game, or in spaceflight in general, costs energy. Because you have to correct for it. It takes more of a burn to get what you want done. And these mistakes add up. And again, your fuel is extremely limited on most of these craft. And when it's gone, and you're wholly dependent on it. Now you'll notice I'm adjusting the aim on the probe a little bit. Our ultimate goal is to put this probe into a polar orbit around the moon, which will allow it to scan the entire surface of the moon over time. And we want to spend as little energy doing that as possible. In fact, it would be great if we could, if the moon would do most of the work for us. So we're going to try to come in high over the moon's orbit, have it pull us down, and hopefully get half of the work of getting into that polar orbit done pretty much for free. God, the engines on these probes just do not have a great deal of thrust. I probably should have even started firing sooner than I did, maybe a little bit before moonrise. Look at the engine. Look at the fuel going down, and we're nowhere near our goal. We're about halfway there, and we've expended about half our fuel already. This does not bode well for our mission. I may need to pop off for another beer. I've almost emptied that one. If you have no idea what I've gone through trying to get this video posted, I've actually been trying to get this thing finished for 2 days. But when I initially recorded this mission, my microphone had failed and I didn't realize it. So I spent about 45 minutes flying this mission, talking to myself and not knowing it. So then I went out and I fiddled with the microphone a bit. The audio clarity was just about as good as if I were recording with a half-baked potato. So I went out and bought a new mic today, and I've been fiddling. It took some more fiddling because it turns out there's the front ports on my computer are no good. There's some corrosion or something, or a bad connection. So I actually had to unplug my other hardware from the back of the computer and plug into my main ports back there. Oops. Well, we have definitely got a lunar encounter on that trajectory. Probably a little too good of one, considering that will end in a collision if we don't fix it. And that's scanning from a little too low an altitude. Looking at the eccentricity of our our final orbit, we didn't do a very good job with coming in high either. I'll have to fiddle with that. But see, if we make our correction burn halfway there, it's going to cost us about 6 meters per second, which isn't much. That's not bad, but we're going to experiment with it a little bit through here. Well, maybe what happens if we burn a little later? Oh, we crash again. Well, that's no good. And then the game glitches and deletes the node, but that's all right. Well, what happens if we burn earlier? And whoa, almost immediately, 3 meters per second will get us off a collision course. So I ultimately decided it would be best to make the correction burn immediately, and it makes sense if you think about it in terms of geometric progression. This flight is going to take about 9.5 hours to complete. So let's see. Let's exercise my calculator a little bit. So 9.5 hours times 3,600 seconds per hour, with just a speed difference of 3 meters per second. At the end of that 9.5 hour period, that alters our destination by 102 kilometers. Just through geometric progression. So yeah, you always you want to make these corrections early and as far away as possible. Now, making major alterations in your orbit, you actually want to do. It gets tricky. There's a bunch of different effects and that you can take advantage of. When your vehicle is moving very, very slowly, you're more efficient to make changes there. And when you're way low in a planet's gravity well, you can take advantage of what's called the Oberth effect. And I don't quite have a good grasp on the physics behind that, but it's pretty common knowledge within spacefaring communities. And basically, the lower in the gravity well, it tricks reality, I guess. In conservation of momentum or something. Basically, it makes the amount of your fuel more efficient. The amount of fuel you throw out, you need to throw out less for the same amount of thrust. I don't quite understand it. I don't quite have a grasp on it, but it does work, and the game does model it. So that's another good time. Okay, we've got a good circularized polar orbit, and oh my, that's going to require 806 meters per second of a velocity change to pull off. Our fuel stores are looking kind of thin all of a sudden. This mission may may not pan out quite as I'd hoped. But too late now. Sally forth and carry on. All of a sudden, I wish we would have used the Aurora as kind of a first stage ascent to start the Mooner burn with. Then we could have released and finished with Snoopy's engine. That would have left more fuel on the probe for its own course corrections later on. But too late now, and we'll file that tidbit away for next time. And there always is a next time. I play the snot out of this game. You have no idea. In fact, about the only time I'm not playing this game is when I am either playing Minecraft with my wife on our private server, or when I'm working on the comic or one of my stories. We're gonna let's just sit and watch us fly in. I can't explain why, but I kind of love this. I love just watching that planetary body slowly grow in size as we get closer and closer. I can't explain why. Just the joy of anticipation. It's majestic. It's that joy of anticipation of success that's approaching. I guess I don't know, but I have I have in the past flown this Mooner out and never turned the time compression up above 100 times compression, and just watched the flight progress at that slow, slow pace. And which, I mean, that turns that flight into about a 6-minute flight from Kerbin to the moon, which, in video game land is a bloody eternity. Your average Halo fan would be in a twitching, Ritalin popping fit by the end of 2 minutes of it. But I don't. To each their own, I suppose. I mean, I stay off their servers, and they can just bite me when it comes to my own playing habits, I guess. I know what I enjoy. God, look at that. It's just, I don't know, it's just beautiful. It was so small at the start of our flight, and here we are. We've crossed this gulf of thousands of kilometers just to be here. And now we are desperately hoping I did not buff up my my delta V calculations. But oh, look down by the nav ball. See that glimmer at the very edge of that crater? That is the Mooner Arch. I tried to take everyone to on my first video. And that purple carrot, that's the landed remains of a failed mission. I landed the ship and tried to fly the and Snoopy has just run out of gas. And that is not exactly an optimal orbit to try to scan for Kethane from. Oh no. That's awful. Anyway. So we've come all this way. We're at least gonna, the little robot's brain's gonna go through the motions anyway. And you can see I've already pretty well scanned this planet already. I'm still experimenting with things. Let's just kill this flight. And let's go back to the space plane and try to land this thing. Now, landing, or not landing so much, as deorbiting. I'm still trying to work out how to do it in such a way to bring the space plane down on top of the Kerbal Space Center. The closer, the better. Granted, we've got now one trick I did learn that just doesn't seem to want to work today. That's gonna hurt us. Anyway, normally I can select that launch debris from our moonshot, and what it'll do is it'll put the Kerbal Space Center on the artificial horizon nav ball, and that'll help in navigating in. But it's not wanting to work today, so yeah, we're on dead reckoning, I suppose. Anyway, like I was saying, I'm still working out when, where, and how much of a burn to execute to bring us down as close to the Kerbal Space Center as possible. Now, granted, we are carrying about a full ton of jet fuel left, which gives us about 10 minutes of flight time, or if not more. I may have lowballed that. One more minute while I do some smarty pants stuff again. That gives us pretty excellent cross-range capability in game. But if we don't have the problem with flying an aircraft 10 minutes in game is you're spending 10 minutes in a video game flying an aircraft in a straight line. That gets dull even if you've got enough fuel to do it. So we want to bring us down as close to Kerbal Space Center as we can, so we can just put the gear down and land this thing. But I'm still working out the specifics. I'm trying different things each time. I'm putting our periaps about 10 kilometers and offsetting it between 70 and 80 degrees from the Kerbal Space Center. And we'll see how that works out. See if that brings us down where we need to be.